the Champ, the Opel Corsa bakkie. In South Africa, this half-ton bakkie segment is like a culture all on its own. Unfortunately, these icons of yesteryear are a thing of the past, all of them being replaced by modern day versions of the half-ton pickup. There was a lot of moaning and complaining in South Africa when the Opel Corsa got slapped with a new badge, the Chevy bow tie. But I suppose if we come to think of it, put a bow tie on the front of the half-ton pickup and suddenly it comes with a lot of heritage. We spoke earlier in that opening link about the heritage that comes as soon as you slap a Chevy bow tie badge onto any pickup. But where did it all start? And I've got just the man to answer that question. Thys, hoe gaan het?
Goed met jou.
Nie te sleg nie. Sê vir ons waar het hierdie hele love affair met pickups vir Chevy begin het?
Wel, vir my persoonlik, dit is maar altyd die brand. Chef dra vir my Amerikaanse brand en van die begin af van Chef was daar in die ou tyd was daar kompetisie tussen Chef en Ford en dis maar net meer, ek dink die geskiedenis van Chef.
First pickup, Chev in South Africa. Where we started? We're talking the 50s or does it go further back?
Hier van die 20's af, maar dit was regtig nie 'n goeie bakkie gewees nie. Die eerste werksbakkie wat die mense kon gebruik het om te mee werk was soos hierdie in 1935. Hulle het begin inkom van Amerika van 1935 wat jy hom gekoop het in 36 hier in Suid-Afrika.
You're a young guy. So what is the fascination with historics and classics like the Chev pickups that you have?
Dis die looks en die vrou daarvan, regtig om met een van hulle net shopping center toe te ry, is klaar dag se ekspedisie. Ek meen, vandag klim jy in jou kar en jy ry gou 200 kilos. Om met hierdie 200 kilos te ry is regtig heeldag se werk en om net shopping center toe te ry. Ons vandag ry in 'n kar en die robot raak rooi en jy trap breek en is klaar. Hierdie moet jy regtig die robot time. Gaan hy rooi wees, gaan hy groen wees, kan ek dit maak of kan ek dit nie maak? En regtig die aandag wat dit trek, dis lekker.
No aircon, no disc brakes, no power steering. It's real driving.
Nothing. Everything is plain Jane.
Well, as you've got an unbelievable collection. I'd love to be driving one of these, but I suppose we've got to stick to the modern day and go and drive our new Chev Ute. The half-ton bakkie driving experience certainly has changed in the last couple of years. No more window down, arm hanging out the side window, because these days these half-tonners are well spec'd. Aircon, electric windows, electric mirrors, MP3 players, you name it, it's become a real lifestyle vehicle. Well, that is anyway in the new Chevy Ute that we're driving. Top of the range, the 1.8 Sport is giving us 77 kilowatts, 161 Newton meters of torque, mated to a 5-speed manual box, and really is fun and sporty and dynamic to drive. The entry-level starting price is 115,000 for the 1.4, and they do have spec levels with obviously varying amount of trim that gets added in, with your options of either going for club or for the sport mode. So they're pretty well covered, 1.4, 1.8, no diesel though. But the interior for me, I am really impressed with. And it seems like the Chev designers have really taken that freshness of the exterior styling and followed it through to the interior. They've really put a lot of space into the cabin, even headroom. There's plenty of it. I'm in my driving position, I've got space behind the seats to load bags. There are lots of storage compartments, cup holders. Everything is really, really well laid out, thoughtfully put in the right place. There's a cutout on the rear boot lid, which also does lock, so for loading it's pretty easy to put the stuff in. The sills running around the load bin, protected with a plastic cover. That's normally where the paint gets damaged as you're loading stuff in. The side steps, which I know was something that a Corsa bakkie had as well, so you really can access the load area pretty comfortably. They've really done a great job, and I think South Africans are probably going to feel a bit more comfortable now saying goodbye to the Opel Corsa bakkie, because the bow tie badge is now on a brand new, fresh looking vehicle. As we've seen with the 1-ton bakkie, safety has become a really important issue because these vehicles are used for lifestyle, and the half-tonners are no different. This 1.8 Sport that we in has ABS, EBD, comes with 2 airbags, so it certainly is well spec'd from a safety element. One thing I do find, people might think it's a bit odd, but when you are driving, the brake pedal does feel a bit soft and mushy and it doesn't take immediately. Now that might put some people off, but there's nothing wrong with the stopping capabilities. Instead, for me, I'm thinking that it's a good tactic to have, because if you are driving with load, the last thing you want is a super sensitive brake pedal and you start shifting all your load around in the back. So even there, they've thought things through. Something obviously important to consider as well is fuel consumption. The entry level 1.4s, they reckon you should be looking at around 7 litres per 100. And the 1.8 Sport that we in, 8.1 is what the manufacturer predicts. Obviously, we're nowhere near that at the moment because we tend to drive things a little bit more aggressively on test days, but still pretty frugal for 1.8. I actually don't feel so bad about driving a half-tonner. I feel like a champ. So if you are in the market for a half-ton bucky, you only have 3 choices in SA at the moment. The Fiat Strada has just the one option, the working. It's a 1.4 litre, 112,000, so really well priced. But I think consumers are going to fight it out between the Chevy Utility and of course the Nissan MP200. What we love about this bucky is just the freshness of its styling. It really is a head turner, and interior is well spec'd, well laid out. The half tonner has certainly changed big time. I think the MP200 has a certain advantage because there's a bit more option and variety when it comes to the engine lineup, because they're the only ones that offer a diesel engine. For me, from a pricing point of view, engine performance, it's really nothing to choose from. I just don't think South Africans are ever going to get their heads around calling this a ute. It's a bucky, and it's a good one.